And he was just like gentle and quiet and so sweet and so different from the persona. So great to see you guys. Hello. If you missed our earlier news segment this week, we talked about the fantastic folks at the Fargo Theater in Fargo, North Dakota. We are teaming up with them this week, and it's been a real pleasure to get to know them and all their great work. So we'll put a link to them down below. They are showing everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yes.
This weekend, a favorite of Alonso's now, we re-reviewed that in case you missed that. So good stuff there at the Fargo. Thank you guys for hanging out. We've got a really, really cool place to mention next week as well for our movie house shout out. So thanks for all your suggestions.
And still taking nominations for your favorite local indie movie theater. Please let us know who are they? Where are they? What kind of work are they doing? We want to talk about it.
We'd love it. A bit of sad news to begin with, and then we'll move on. Gilbert Gottfried died. Gilbert Gottfried died at 67. He had been ill for a while. Did you see the documentary about him recently?
I did not, but I have been hearing that I need to, so I will try and check that out.
It's a different side of him, you know, and there was such an outpouring of love for him, and the interesting paradox between what his comic persona was and how he would just go there with the inappropriate joke. Like Colbert did a whole thing about, we would come up with these crazy bits, and if they were totally inappropriate and too soon and totally wrong, and we always knew that Gilbert would go for that with us. But compared to that, he was genuinely a really sweet and gentle and lovely guy by all accounts.
Yes. If you've never seen The Aristocrats, a really fun documentary, there's a whole Gilbert Gottfried section, and it starts with him telling a 9/11 joke very soon after 9/11, and when at the Hugh Hefner roast, I believe, and when people started yelling too soon, he then launched into The Aristocrats. And if you know what that is, you know what that is.
I was there that night.
What?
I was in the audience that night. Chris and I were there because I was in New York covering all entertainment for the AP. And this was a big thing because it was this Hugh Hefner roast like a few weeks after 9/11. And everyone was sort of feeling hesitant about, you know, how do we get back to, how do we get back to this kind of event together, like enjoying ourselves in New York, laughing again. And the energy in that room when he did that joke was crazy because everyone on stage knew what that was, knew like that it was the secret handshake of a joke among comedians. And then I talked to him really briefly afterward at the after party, and he was just like gentle and quiet and so sweet and so different from the persona, you know? So it was really cool to meet him, and like a historic moment to be there. So that's my Gilbert Gottfried story. So very sad, 67 years old.
If you've never seen the You Fool exchange from Hollywood Squares, it's on YouTube. I highly recommend it.
Indeed. The Cannes lineup has been announced. Are you pumped for Cannes?
I mean, I'm not going, but yeah, obviously there's a lot of cool stuff, and, you know, a lot of usual suspects, and some, you know, every year with the women directors, they keep saying they're going to do a better job. And it's like, there's what, 3 in competition this year?
There's Claire Denis.
Right.
Kelly Reichardt.
Yes. And Valerie Bruni Tedeschi.
Okay.
And that's it.
Right. And then you have like the Dardennes, like your usual suspects, the Corriators of the world. But you have George Miller's first film since Mad Max Fury Road, 3,000 Years of Longing. You've got the new Cronenberg.
You've got the other Cohen.
Yes. Ethan's movie is coming out.
Yes.
So I know you have been to Cannes. Are they doing a virtual
I've
Cannes?
never. I've never been to Cannes. No.
You've been to Venice.
I've been to Venice.
You've been to Berlin.
I've been to Berlin.
You've been to
I've
Paradise.
Been to Paradise, but I've never been to me. Thanks.
So I wonder if they're doing virtual Cannes this year.
It doesn't look like it. I mean, from I don't know. I can't say for sure, but my understanding is they are very much kind of plowing through, you know, as though everything was, you know, hunky dory. So I think, everybody's going to be packing them back in on the Croisette this year. They've already announced like what they're doing, a big thing for Elvis and for the new Top Gun movie, right? Those are both going to be sort of like Hollywood dazzly things on the Croisette.
Tom Cruise is back, baby.
Woo!
We can't keep him down. Also, starting this weekend is the first weekend of Coachella. Also never been to Coachella because I'm an old person.
Oh, hell no.
Like that just sounds like a pain in the ass, right? You got to schlep out to the desert and it's hot and there's nowhere to go to the bathroom unless you paid thousands of dollars for like a VIP tent.
Exactly. It's like Burning Man. Unless I were like a gajillionaire and I could just sort of breeze in and out with my like, you know, tarted up RV. No, thank you. I'm too old for that.
This weekend, you got Harry Styles, Billie Eilish, and Phineas. You've got Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, Fatboy Slim for us older people, and Danny Elfman for us older people. The Weeknd and Chicano Batman are among the many, many, many acts playing at Coachella. It is now a 2-weekend extravaganza, but this is just the first weekend beginning now.
I hope Billie Eilish and Phineas do some Four Town songs.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love that. That's a fantastic idea. Maybe they will. They'll squeeze one in. So the J-Lo documentary is going to open the Tribeca Film Festival in June. And then a few days later, it's going to play on Netflix. It's called Halftime. It's about Jennifer Lopez. I'm guessing we're going to have a lot of insider access to Jennifer Lopez, and it won't be terribly critical of her.
That sounds like a very apt prediction. We'll see what happens. Wait, Tribeca's not happening till June?
Yeah, it's later now.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Is that permanently now, or is it?
I don't know. Maybe because of COVID, but it used to be right about now.
Yeah,
right about now. But it is now. It's now later. And then also looking forward to next summer, they are going to redo the Summer of Soul Festival in Harlem.
Oh, wow.
At the same park where the now Oscar-winning Summer of Soul documentary took place. Nice. They're going to do a whole music festival over several days. We don't have any acts lined up just yet because it's a whole year out, but that's a cool thing to look forward to.
Bring back Marilyn McCoo.
Yes, that was a lovely moment. Very good.
Yes.
A couple other little celebrity things to talk about. Cuba Gooding Jr. Did you know about this whole story with him?
Not. No,
this
is a total. I'd not heard anything about it until this verdict got handed.
Right. He pleaded guilty to inappropriate touching. And apparently there are several women at various restaurants and nightclubs in New York who said that he kissed them inappropriately without their permission or groped them or whatever. And so he pleaded guilty to that. So that was that. But that was the first I'd ever heard of it when that came out. And then Bam Margera has settled his lawsuit against Johnny Knoxville and Paramount about his involvement with this past Jackass Forever. He is notably absent.
Right. I know that he had sort of sued about being excluded from it. And they were sort of saying, well, you've got to get your stuff together. And is it one of those settlements where we'll never get to hear what actually went down? Or
maybe, but I know he was, a crucial part of that whole crew for so many years, but also has had very public difficulties. And so they have agreed to settle things quietly.
Look, it's like if you're in Cirque du Soleil, you got to be really on your game, or else it could get real gnarly. And I think the same is with Jackass, as goofy and like, oh, we're chuckling through this whole thing, like they've got to be super focused to do that stuff that they do, because it could all go south real easily.
That's a good point. And maybe not in the peak tippy top physical condition, but at least like mentally aware of what is going on around you, as we see when, when a bull is coming after you and
exactly you have your calculated risks.
Right. So we're not trying any of this stuff at home. And then one last quick little item, Walker Scobell, who was the young man who starred opposite Ryan Reynolds in the Adam Project. He is going to be playing Percy Jackson in the Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus. There's a lot of television in the world.
I know it never seems to end, but there's also a lot of Percy Jackson books, so they got plenty to feed off of.
That's true, and they have Magnus Chase books too, which my kid is now in the middle of rereading. So that is that, and then we've got Moon Knight for you on our Patreon, so keep an eye out for that. And then we're gonna do The Others. Is that what it's called?
No, The Offer.
The Offer. This is how much I'm excited about this series. I can't even recall. The Offer, the Paramount series about the making of The Godfather.
Oh yes, all that and more at our Patreon.
Thanks, guys.